Poles have no patience. If you're being an asshole, you're just being an asshole. Go, 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 go. Sometimes it becomes a little bit too much. W tym odcinku opowiem wam, dlaczego moim zdaniem tak dobrze dogaduję się z Polakami. Boom! Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up people? Hola, JT here. Welcome to another episode. I've given this a lot of thought. I feel that for me to answer the question, why do I get along so well with Polish people? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that it just doesn't make sense, because it should not work as well as it does. I should not have such a great relationship with you guys that are Polish watching this, because I come from a completely different culture, different temperament, so many things that in essence they can clash. At the same time, inside many differences lies a lot of similarities. And I know that makes no sense. And I realize now that many of the things that make me like Poles so much is precisely because they bring to my life things that I don't necessarily find in my own country and in my own culture. And that doesn't mean that I don't love my country and my culture. I absolutely not only love, respect, but miss Dominican Republic. To me, being Dominican is a major source of proudness. Now, if I am honest with you guys, one of the things that I absolutely love the most about meeting people from different countries, different cultures, exploring the world, is because I get challenged in the things that I deem normal. Things in my culture that, as proud as I am of them and as much as I enjoy them, I really want to see how does life look from another perspective. Being in Poland, having met Polish people who are so undeniably Polish, it has enriched my life tremendously. The first thing is reliability. You're gonna have trouble finding people more reliable than Poles. I sometimes say that they are painfully reliable. And what do I mean with this? Sometimes, let's say I've asked a friend to help me with something and I've completely forgotten about it. A month has gone by, and then one day I get a message or a call telling me like, hey, that thing that you asked me to do, tonight, right? Are we ready? And I am like, tonight? What is he talking about? And I'm asking my wife, did I commit to this? Because you see, in Latin America, the concept of reliability works slightly different. We really are not as bad. Latin America is not all, as they say in Poland, ale Mexic. We have decent functioning countries, but the way we go around things like being reliable, commitment, there are a lot of buts attached to it. You have the best intentions, but something happened and you were not able to fulfill your promise. After having a family and after having moved to Poland, I realize now how powerful it is to be reliable, how significant it is to have somebody commit to something and deliver on that promise, and do so without a lot of hoorahs and a lot of celebration and a lot of hoopla around it, like I would do. As a Latino, I would do that. Someone asks me for help, I would be like, dude, of course, say no more. I got your back. Yeah, when do you want me to be there? Tomorrow? Yeah, is it the day after? And then my Polish wife is the one that has to tell me, remember, we have something tomorrow. On Friday, you have a doctor's appointment or whatever. So she's the one that has to kind of reel me in to make sure that I keep my overexcitement under control. Because once I commit to something, I must be reliable. The second thing is honesty. Brutal honesty. At the beginning, this is difficult when you come from Latin America, because our countries, the way you say something is as important, sometimes even more important, than the thing itself. We really value tactfulness, just the way you present your ideas, the way that you express your opinions. You can hurt someone's sensibilities. You can just be plain rude to somebody, even if you didn't mean to, just because you didn't pay attention to the way you said something. In Polish culture, this doesn't exist. Here, if you believe something, you say it the way you believe it. Most people appreciate this. They don't like when you go around it, when you sugarcoat it, when you paint around the edges. No, as a matter of fact, one thing that I hear quite often is that Poles view Latino cultures a little bit with distrust because they don't know if we are being honest. And where I sit with this after so many years engulfed in Polish culture is that there's one negative thing that comes with this. Unsensitivity, being unsensitive, is masked inside being honest. And sometimes people are just being rude, unsensitive, and they want to try and tell you that this is because they're being honest. If you're being an asshole, you're just being an asshole. Don't paint it to me as if you're just being honest. At the same time, I do agree that why do you need to go around it so much? Give me what you think about something. Let's get to the point. And I've come to appreciate that. Sometimes it's still difficult, but now I can completely see what Poles see. When I go to my country, when I read some comments online from Latinos, it's not that they are trying to lie to me because they're liars. I think it's just that we are tiptoeing around the subject because we don't really like confrontation, especially verbal confrontation like that. We are not grown to understand confrontation in the same way that confrontation is viewed in Poland, where it's part of daily life. People have quarrels all the time, but because there's honesty inside that argument, people learn to respect each other. But I've learned to understand and respect Polish honesty, as brutal as it is, because I know where I'm standing. And that has been very, very valuable to me. One of the things that I respect the most about Poland, and dude, I really wished we had that in Latin America, that is the ability to think long term. Listen, we are really good at protecting our culture, at exporting our culture, being proud of who we are, just like Poles. But we really lack the ability to think long term, to set up goals and to stick to them. Design the plan and just, no matter what, follow through on that plan. Poland is excellent on this. Just look at the last 40 years, 30 years, and where Poland is today. We wouldn't have reached this moment in time without not only proper planning, but people committing to the plan, thinking long term, thinking beyond a given generation. You cannot be so desperate. As much as I like to say that Poles have no patience, surprisingly, when it comes to thinking long term, all of a sudden they are extremely patient. I really wish we had that, and I value that a lot. You feel like you are standing on solid ground. You know that you are in a place that is not only fighting for survival, but is fighting for growth, and is fighting for betterment of its society and the members of that society. If there's something that Latin America can learn from Poland, is that ability to think long term. Without a doubt, has become one of my favorite things about Poland. But you know what is something that I absolutely love in Poland, and it has really helped me connect with Polish people because it's so common here. It's as common as this, as snow. It's everywhere. That is dark humor, dark, witty humor. I love it. I'm sad to say that we don't have it in Latin America. We are fun people. We're joyful. We are colorful. But we are not humorous from a darker point of view. As a matter of fact, most Latinos don't like or appreciate dark humor. We view dark humor as distasteful or mean, or sometimes a little bit too self-deprecating. In Poland, do you really want to connect with a Pole? Try to speak their language when it comes to humor. Try to level with them, say something that is going to be like a little bit self-deprecating, a little bit mean. Immediately, you're going to connect with that person. In Poland, this type of like ha-ha humor, like, funny ha-ha type of humor is not that appreciated. Poles have a way of being humorous that sometimes you are not even really fully laughing. You're just smirking. You're like, When you get that type of reaction out of a Pole, you know you got them. It requires a certain level of wittiness. It requires a certain level of intelligence, social intelligence, and an ability to utilize daily observations and twist it in just the right way. Latinos don't understand it. Like I said, we are not funny people. We are joyful people. This leads me to the next series of things that I want to tell you about. Whenever you build a solid relationship with somebody, a relationship where you like them a lot, you get along really well, it's because they add something to your life, but also because you provide a couple of good things too. One of those things is just joyfulness. Latinos love to see the world looking at it from a positive angle, almost always. One of the things that surprised my wife the most when she went to Dominican Republic was seeing people selling something on the streets, just barely making it to provide something for their families on that day. Forget about just earning minimum wage. No, be below that. And yet you would ask them, how are you, man? And they would be like, we're alive. That's all that matters. And they would crack a smile. Happiness is contagious. And people in Poland, because it's part of the culture, because historical and generational trauma, for whatever the different reasons, people don't tend to resort to happiness as the first option. People don't necessarily want to be sad. I don't think that sadness is something that Polish people crave, but I think that they do need a reason to be happy. Latinos don't need a reason. It's our natural state. There is a positive vibe that is extremely difficult to ignore. I think Poles are like aluminum. If you are cold, they're going to acquire that quality. They're going to be cold. If you're warm, they're going to be warm. And I think this is one of the best things that I've discovered that I can provide to Polish culture. An ability to be happy and joyful. Another reason why I think that we honestly get along so well is because of this carefree attitude that we have. Latinos, we go around the world. We worry about things, but we don't show it. For sure, don't let it consume us. We tackle problems with a slight different level of anxiety, if indeed there's any. And I think that Poles really need that. In Poland, the responsibility, problems is almost viewed like a burden that is for you to carry. That's what it is. That's your burden, that's your responsibility. Put it on your shoulders, just commit to it and go. Go. Yes, it gets things done, but at the same time, it slowly eats away at you. Sometimes it becomes a little bit too much for Poles. On top of that, throw things like difficult weather, lack of sunlight, and Latinos have this way of just coasting through life, not only with a smile, but like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. Wszystko będzie dobrze. Latinos live by it. Like, we really believe that everything's gonna be okay. Things are gonna find a way to resolve itself. Maybe that's the reason why our countries could be doing a little bit better. But at the same time, it's also a reason why we can overcome the difficulty that we have in our countries. High level of poverty in our countries, and somehow, some way, we don't have as many suicides. We don't have as many people really sinking into depression. And when you can provide a little bit of that carefreeness, believe me that they really appreciate it. They want to hang out with you. They want to spend time with you because you're not this downer. If you can be a source of light when there's a little bit of shadow, they will really appreciate that. So, I think that we complement each other pretty well. And I think that the most important thing is that we understand the important things in life. Poles and Latinos click. And that's why relationships between Latinos and Poles tend to be so successful if they can overcome little things like communication, expressing feelings, dealing with that pessimism versus the optimism, and understanding that our differences are as important as our similarities is precisely where the sweet spot lies. And to me, I am so happy that I managed to find that sweet spot where today I can call so many Polish people real friends. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. Why do I get along so well with Poles? Well, in all truth, because I admire them. I admire their loyalty, their resilience, their family values, and I think that they appreciate my ways of life, a little bit chilled, just happy, optimistic. I think they also understand that we are also loyal people. We just have a different way of expressing it. And at the end of the day, what is life if we cannot find similarities inside our differences and we learn to appreciate them and build better bonds and better relationships? See you guys on another episode. Bye-bye.